Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. It's once again time for the WADcast, the Writers, Actors, Directors podcast. Right here. Here we are. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, joined, as always, by the man without a face, but apparently a bowl that he's just scraping.
Hey, you know what? That's why my camera is not on. Okay, I'm just so everyone knows, I'm eating the last of my dinner here, and I didn't really want to look like a fatty, on camera, shoveling food into my mouth from a cup of noodles. So my camera will be turned on momentarily. I just like the privacy when I'm eating in front of, a lot of people. So, and even though I'm not in front of a lot of people, I'm in the privacy of my own home office. This is on the internet for the entire world to see, and I don't need people being like, "Oh, look how he eats his noodles." Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we are. It's once again time for the podcast. I already said all that stuff. Boy, what a week it's been since we've last spoken. By the way, if you're wondering, hey, where the heck is that list podcast, man? If it hasn't been just a parade of mishaps between Jen and myself. Like last week, Jen was in the midst of getting hit by a hurricane. So, yeah. I mean, we've all been there, so we understand. We had to push that back. The week before, I had a prior engagement. The week before that, just it's becoming a comedy of errors at this point, but we do plan on getting, at the very least, caught up. I believe right now, tentatively scheduled for a live broadcast on Tuesday, August 1st. So, yeah, that's hopefully we will get that laid down. It looks like Brandon has finished slurping the cup of noodles.
I have, and it was delicious. It was very delicious.
Sure was.
Listen, Danielle has pictures of me at Korean barbecue, and it's I've seen video of me eating food. It's not appealing. It is like watching a dog eat something. It's pretty bad.
Well, here we are, and once again, it's a week without a plan, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna start throwing some things at you. First of all, it's been a week since we last got together, and in that week, we have seen the rise of Barbenheimer.
Yes, and if you want to talk about brilliant marketing, that those studios paid nothing for those two movies to be marketed the way that they have been marketed on Facebook and social media all over the place. It's hysterical. It's come with some guy made a poster of Cillian Murphy on the Oppenheimer poster, and Margot Robbie sitting on his shoulder, and his arm up here, holding onto her, like she's sitting on the shoulder. Called it a Barbieheimer, I think. And it's gotten bad with people actually sneaking into theaters while they pay to go see Barbie, going into Oppenheimer, or going to see Oppenheimer and sneaking into Barbie.
I got a push notification on my phone from AMC.
Yeah.
That reminded me, hey, guy, you're halfway there to Barbenheimer. Do you want to order your Barbie tickets now? And no, I haven't seen Barbie yet. I made plans to do it several times, but every time I do, I was supposed to be see it last weekend at the drive-in, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning, a full almost 10 hours before the show is supposed to start. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to think ahead. I'm going to pre-order my pass spot, whatever it is. I'm just going to make sure I have access to the screening early on because I don't want to get shut out. Yeah. So I get on my app for, I'm going to plug it. Sunray Cinema, their wonderful theater here in Jacksonville, Florida. Everybody should go there. But I get on the app and I'm like, okay, let's order. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's sold out. 10 hours early, it's sold out. And I'm like, fine, I'll just go to the actual theater to see it. No, every showing is sold out. Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Them, every single one. And I said, okay, then I'll go see it on Tuesday. It's half price Tuesday at AMC. I'll I'll take the kids. It'll be a nice, nice day out. And then that's when the middle kid's like, the concert we're going to is on Tuesday. Oh, right. Yes. So Tuesday I drove to Tampa and took the kid to see Fall Out Boy and drove back the same night. Well, we got back about 4 a.m. That's neither here nor there. But it's just been a little bit hectic, and I know the kids want to go see the movie, and I want to go see the movie, and it's just getting everybody on the same page to go. I know what you're thinking. You're the dad. You should be able to, order them to drop whatever they're doing and go see Barbie. Sure, but I also have to make sure it's how but fiscally responsible to do so, because you know how it is. I mean, when you're a parent, especially a parent of several children, you don't really go to these types of movies and buy one ticket.
Yeah.
No, no. And considering ticket prices are, I don't know if you know, but kind of nuts.
Expensive.
Going to pay like $15 a ticket is no. Tuesdays they're $5. That's perfect. Going to the drive-in, $25 a carload. Beautiful. Invite your friends. We're going to, act like we're college kids and cram as many people in this Prius as possible. It's going to look like a clown car by the time we're done. $25, we just paid for the neighborhood.
Yep.
And that's essentially what it comes down to. Long story short, I haven't seen Barbie, but I did see Oppenheimer. And I believe we already talked about it on the show, so we don't have to go there again.
Nope. No, from what I hear, Oppenheimer's really good. I still have yet to be able to go see it, but it's like I hear it's really good. Barbie, I do want to see. And what cracks me up is like the hate that Barbie's getting from select people.
For existing.
Yeah, talking about how it's such a woke movie. I'm like, guys, just stop with that stuff. It's like, oh, these are coming out to distract us from Sound of Freedom. Like, stop.
Hey,
like,
you said the name we weren't going to say anymore.
I just brought it up in passing. We're not going to talk about that movie.
Although, if you want to mention my observations
on what
you recall,
no,
why I don't want to see that movie.
No,
because it's too woke.
Oh, good. That's right. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, so with those two movies, I haven't gotten a chance to see them yet. I will say that aside from Barbie and Oppenheimer, I don't think I know of anything else coming out like right away that I'm thrilled to see. And I really like, considering what we do with this podcast, I need to start going to see movies. I need to see them whether I like them or not. Whether I want to or not, I have to go see them. So that's going to happen. I just soon to have quite a bit of free time to where I'll be able to go ahead and focus on just going to see like a matinee or something like that, and like when no one's in the theater. But yeah, it's with Barbie. Like, I think it's awesome that you have these characters live action, and to my understanding, it is very much a self-aware movie. I'm not too sure exactly what it is, other than Barbie and Ken end up going into the real world.
Yeah.
And that's all I really know about the movie. But I know something about like how Mattel is trying to get them back into the boxes or back into like their own, like whatever the deal is. Will Ferrell, I think, right?
Yes, like I've seen the movie. I'm pretty sure that is the case, though.
But yeah, it's like Oppenheimer. I know how it ends. I'm going to see it though. Like, I mean, it's just a 3-hour movie I've got to sit through. Well, I don't think it ends with them dropping the bomb on Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I think that it ends with the events that led up to them doing that. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't read a synopsis for it or anything like that. So I'm going to guess, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that it ends with pretty much the characters, like I want to say moments before the launch is announced. And if it is, if not moments before, it's happening when the launch is happening. And the characters are pretty much, you see the characters as they are living their lives, knowing what is going to happen to Japan.
Mm-hmm. That's what you think happens.
That's what I think happens.
And you said it would be okay if I told you if that was the case or not.
Yes, yeah, that's the whole point with me guessing.
Okay.
If not, it's a black screen with some text talking about the future of these people.
Okay.
But it's Christopher Nolan, so I don't really see that happening.
So,
go ahead.
Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wrong.
That's good.
You're
yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm good being wrong. See, it's not like I'm predicting everything that happens in that movie Fall, which I was on the nose with on so many things.
You are. So, yeah. You're not even close.
Oh no, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm just guessing. I'm only guessing. I have not seen the movie. I do not speak for anyone else. It was just something I was curious about that I was just guessing on. That's all. So
thank you, Dr. Gogs, for chiming in for us tonight.
Yeah. I'll figure out. I'll come up with another guess. I just got to kind of wrap my mind around it. But then when I come up with this other guess, you can let me know if I'm right or wrong.
Oh, I'm telling you now, you will never guess.
Okay.
Because you're going on the assumption you know what the movie's about.
Well, I mean, I know it's isn't it like about the guy, like the creation of the formula to create this bomb or something like that, or the people that made this happen?
Nope.
I thought it was. Okay.
No, the movie is a biopic about Oppenheimer. That is correct. But it's about his life, not necessarily just the one thing that everybody knows him for.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, that's like a primary focus because it is the one thing everybody knows him for. But it like all biopics, it'll like show you how he gets there. But then there's a lot of other elements that probably aren't as well known among the public that really get a deep dive.
Okay.
And you might want to see it quick. I don't know if it's still playing in IMAX.
No, I don't watch Christopher Nolan movies in IMAX. It's just because, like my experience with Christopher Nolan movies, he's got so much sound in that shit.
Yes.
That you can barely hear what these people are saying.
No, but it's not a matter of dialogue, but there are times when it's like, when you're like, what? But it's appropriate. It's not like Tenet where you're like, what's going on? I can't hear the words. No, it's like in a movie where, people make stuff blow up. It's like, yes, this is appropriate. But in another movie where it's just the soundtrack going, brah, 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 that's
like Tenet.
Yeah, I didn't want to be specific, but yes, they're like
a damn thing in that movie.
The key to everything is brah, 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 brah. And it's like,
well, see, like the last two
subtitles.
Like I watched Tenet and I watched Dark Knight Rises in IMAX. And I couldn't, like, just with Dark Knight Rises, with how he did Bane's voice when it initially came out, you could not understand a damn thing he was saying. And then with Tenet, when it came out, I watched that in IMAX, and I could not figure out a single damn thing that was going on because the dialogue, I couldn't hear the dialogue over all the sound design and everything else. Like,
I will say that when you find out what the dialogue is, it still doesn't help.
No, Tenet is just confusing as hell.
Speaking, there was a discussion in our not our but in the group that we're in, the movie addiction group, because someone put up their opinion about Oppenheimer, and one of his complaints was it keeps switching aspect ratio. It keeps switching. That's annoying to me. Nobody should ever do that. Like, okay. And then we had a little back and forth about that. That was funny.
Is there a reason why they do that in the movie?
I'm sorry, I cannot.
Is there a reason they do that in the movie? Like why they go, like they switch aspect ratios?
Well, I mean, when you're shooting in IMAX, it's going to come automatically no matter what.
Yeah.
Especially when you're, well, like I said, when you're shooting in IMAX, that's just a thing. I couldn't tell you specifically where the changes were. I mean, it wasn't like what was it? Was it Grand Budapest Hotel? Or was it changed aspect ratios to differentiate between the different time periods?
Okay.
There's a use, and whatever the case may be. This guy just didn't like it, and apparently never likes it, because he said no director should ever do that, more or less. He said every director, only uses one aspect ratio, which is of course patently false.
That's completely that's just pulling non-existing facts out of your ass right there. It's happened a few times in cinema.
It happens always.
I know I'm being very very facetious with that. No, it happens all the time, but I don't know.
Just most of the time, it's not noticeable because the ratio changes are minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're switching from like huge IMAX formats to like 4:3, just I can understand to someone it would be jarring, and I even said, hey, that's fine if it didn't work for you, that's a you thing, whatever. But when it comes to just saying director should not have that ability to do so because you don't like it, it's just insane.
Very callous.
I don't like this filming technique. It should never be used. But I mean, my original idea, although I can say it now because it obviously didn't come to fruition. I was like, after this conversation, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get Nolan on the show, and we're going to talk about aspect ratios, and we're going to just prove why everyone needs, or why he needed to change these aspect ratios for specific scenes so we can get the framing, and have an expert on it. And then I realized, he's not going to come on the show.
There's a little fun fact about Christopher Nolan. There was someone I was talking to in oh God, that was a while back. Someone I was talking to, one of my friends out here, and she was talking about how she would believe that Christopher Nolan has a very dull taste in movies. I'm like, well, one of his favorite movies is Talladega Nights. Like, it's one of his all-time favorite movies. Like he said in a few interviews that if that movie comes on, he puts the remote down so he can watch it. And there was even like a podcast where they were interviewing him, and they were just thrown off so much that his favorite movie is The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. And we just don't picture you like watching that kind of movie, and like Christopher Nolan comes back with, "If you ain't first, you're last."
Shake and bake.
So people forget, the guy's a guy. He just has a really cool job that pays him a lot more money than I will ever make in my lifetime. But But no, it's just a little fun fact about him. But no, it's just the way people get like all up in arms about these movies, or like I guess get very God, I don't know how to describe it. Just self-righteous, like they know what's best for these movies. I would love to see them actually go through the marketing. I'd love to see them go through just like, I don't know, even like the writing process of writing a feature-length script. I'll tell you right now, it's fun, but it's not easy. And I say this with, I think, 20 feature-length scripts under my belt that I've written myself right now, a bunch of shorts and a few TV episodes. But
I also have history.
I'm just saying, the way that people like talk about how these people don't know what they're doing and all this stuff, like, well, then go ahead and do it. Show them. If you know better than them, you should be making the money that they're making. Like, now there are some people that make money by being very intelligent, such as Uebo. I cannot stand him. His films are painful to watch, but he still makes a hell of a living for himself as a filmmaker. I think at the end of the day, he will put all of his money out to make these films, and then he uses the tax credits, I think, filming where he films in Germany to get most of his money back that he invested in the movie. So his films, in a way, are all successful because of where he shoots them. But
I'm going to see a Neil Breen movie in theaters in a couple weeks.
Have fun with that.
I'm gonna.
You're willingly going to go see a Neil Breen movie?
Yes, in a theater, no less.
Okay, which one?
Cade.
Cade. Not familiar with Cade.
Full name is Cade the Tortured Crossing, and it says an identical twin restores an old mental asylum. He takes it upon himself to mystically train the patients as warriors for humanity and justice.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, right?
That sounds terrible. How is that guy how is that Netflix guy not famous yet? If Neil Breen can be famous.
That is a good question.
I think maybe he's just like I think maybe it's just because he only posts his movies on YouTube.
Maybe
they might. I don't know if they're on Amazon Prime. Let me check really quick.
In the meantime, I think we should watch the trailer for Cade the Tortured Crossing.
Don't say that to me.
You can do your research, and I will.
Go ahead. Make the viewers suffer.
We're all gonna suffer.
Uh-huh.
Neil Breen film.
I think together we can make a success of this project. They are our heroes. We will never let them down.
This youth trafficking is disgusting. We had 2 more last night.
He's not, doing anything that modern superhero movies don't do, with green screens and whatnot.
What the hell's going on here?
We're doing the best we can. We're trying. We're trying.
That's not good enough.
Let go! Ah! Help!
Now, mind you, this is
I want to see where my
Trailer.
money's been going.
Please don't let them hurt me anymore.
Megan, what do you know about the patient trafficking that's going on here? What do you know about the gene editing research? You must know something.
There's been a huge increase in the amount of kidnapping of the youths and runaways that are being used for medical.
There is a lot of green screen in this trailer.
Any irregularities that might happen at your lab.
We can make a difference.
But here they're talking about youth trafficking, which means if you don't care about this movie, you know what that makes you.
We've taken in 6 new patients this week. We've lost 2.
We can't afford to lose any. Patients are money.
Wherever there's an injustice, I will be there. Wherever there's a fight, we will be. I will never forget.
So you're voluntarily going to go see that shit? Josh?
Absolutely, I'm going to go see it because I am not a cinema snob.
You don't have to be a snob to not go see that, you know.
No,
You're going to come back minus so many brain cells. That was painful as shit to watch. And I assume that you pulled that from another show or another recording because I could hear you speaking to it.
No. I have my audio playing back through my headphones. So when I share my system audio, you still hear me unless I mute the physical microphone.
I got you. God, that's so bad.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It shouldn't be you shouldn't have negative feelings when watching something like that, because what it tells everybody, if you're watching, if you're listening, and if you saw what I just played for you, then you should realize that, as I say at the end of every episode, you can do it. That movie is going to play in a theater. That movie is it can. I bought a ticket. I bought 2 tickets, actually. But that is going to be playing in a theater for people. And you know what? If frickin' Neil Breen can bring his creative visions to life, so can you. Not you, Brandon, because, you know, you have, like, standards.
Yeah, I would never do that shit at all. You know, Mark had this test footage he sent me like last year, I think, or the year before that. And you know, a friend of mine, friend of the shows, Mark Hensley. This guy is. We've had an interview that I've recorded with him, and we played it on the show as like our special guest thing. But Mark is very much self-taught in a lot of things when it comes to filmmaking. Now, his job by trade is a sound engineer over at Smart Post Sound in Burbank. But he works on all these projects. He works on a bunch of short films. He taught himself how to use the cameras, what the difference between the lenses, like, you know, like lighting that looks good, editing, all this stuff. Like, he taught himself all these things, but he printed, like with a 3D printer, he printed this old looking hotel or asylum kind of thing, right? And he put a green screen behind it, and he pretty much edited in like this stormy night, wind blowing, rain blowing to the side, everything else, and it looks so amazing with what he taught himself how to do. What I just watched, because I forgot how incredibly bad Neil Breen's movies are. They're horrible. Let me rephrase it. What I just sat through. God damn. God.
It should give everybody that ever wants to make a movie hope.
Pretty much, yeah. But the thing is he didn't start making movies until he was already in his 40s. And he had a very lucrative career as an architect, I believe, if I remember right. Last time I read up on him, he had a very lucrative career as an architect. That he used those finances or something like that into bankrolling his first 3 feature films.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he writes, directs, and stars in all of his movies.
Oh, I know. You can tell that he. Yeah, I know. I would rather watch Inflix films again than ever watch a Neil Breen movie.
Born into Mafia 2.
Yeah, where it takes place in Russia, but it's filmed in Jacksonville Airport in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, we're in Russia. Hey, look, a palm tree. I'm like,
We're in Russia. This is the Olive Garden in Arlington.
oh my God. But you know what? Even with him, go him. He puts out so many He put out so many feature films. I don't know about now, but he put out quite a few of them.
So, what are we talking about?
The guy that owns Inflix. No, it's not Netflix. It's got the same writing, ladies and gentlemen. It's the company is called Inflix. Type it up in YouTube. He has all of his movies posted in YouTube. A lot of them are feature films, and he puts them out like he makes them like they're candy. Like there's always coming out with like new films.
Yes. And I've watched a couple because, there's how do I say this? There's for us, there's a bit of a local flavor.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I'll see, one of the movies and recognize somebody, and then I have to shoot a text and be like, yo, what the hell's that?
Yeah, it's not good. No, those movies are, but like I said, he makes them. He makes some movies. They may not be great, but he still makes them. He's still Miles. He's still
exactly the point.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying he's so far ahead of people, like even like criticizing him because like he was like, okay, well, he can actually say what I was like saying earlier. He can be like one of those people like, okay, show me how it's done. Make one.
That's exactly it. Because there are people on the internet that complain about this, that, or the other, lazy writing, awful direct, blah, 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 blah. Haven't even made the slightest attempt to make anything when it comes to film.
Yeah, even write something.
No writing, nothing. And suddenly they're an expert. I've done it. I've done all of the things in the WAD. I would never say, well, I know more than blah, 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 because I know that my experience is not to a professional level, although technically I am a professional actor in the way that I've gotten paid to do it. I will also say I am a terrible, terrible director, and not in the terrible, it's so bad you have to watch it because it's hilarious kind of way, but just in a general bad kind of way. So hopefully I'll be able to do that again soon. But writing, I've had several projects that have written come to life, and it's always a joy, especially when you see them play out on a big screen through whatever short film contest is going on. It's always a joy. So I can at least say that when it comes to critique, when it comes to review, I have the ever so slightest skin in the game because I've put myself out there to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it makes me better than somebody that doesn't. I'm not going to say that anybody's opinion on art is invalid because they don't create said art. But when you are going out of your way to knock or knock creative, when you yourself have done nothing creative, when you are saying that's lazy writing and you've never written anything, you're coming from a place of not knowing what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, you have all these online critics. Like, the saying goes, everyone's a critic. But it's like, you can mention like when a movie is like just not doing great and everything else, like when it's like just like not moving along and all that crap. I think you can mention that, but it's like if you're one of those people that like always has something to say about everything, then give it a shot and throw your own throw your hat in the ring. Like just like go do what you can to make something. Like even if it's just like grabbing one of these little things right here and filming something. There's this guy that I knew, haven't spoken to him in a while. This guy, Anthony, he films a lot of his short films on his phone. A lot. Mm-hmm. Just he has his iPhone, he films them and everything else. They're not great. They're not, but I mean, he does them. He puts them out. So the only thing I would say about his films is that they read more like scenes from bigger movies. So I think with him, if he would just like added those scenes together and just like whatever, he probably could have had a stronger, something stronger to work with. But even him, he puts them out there. And I think he even said one time the same thing to other people is like, well, why don't you do better then? Why don't you show me how it's done? I was like, oh, well, I don't have film equipment. He was like, neither do I. I've got my phone. I'm like, no, okay, that's actually a pretty good comeback. Like, let's face it, we're in 2023. It's not like how it was 20 years ago, how you had to have some kind of like a big camera to really film something. Otherwise, you'd be filming from a flip phone camera if it even was able to record video that lasts more than 3 seconds. So
now everybody has an HD camera in their pocket.
Yep. Everything you need to make any kind of movie is on your phone now. Everything. Mm-hmm. You don't have an editing app, you can download one. They're free. I use UCut if I want to do something. It's free. I don't have ads, and it's awesome. But yeah, it's like, I mean, download music, edit music, and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with your phone. I remember that short film that Zack Snyder made with an iPhone. One thing he was not thinking about is he was like, oh, I'm going to make this no budget. Like, I'm going to make this short film with just an iPhone. Not thinking he had full access to an entire set to film the short film with. Things that people don't really have access to. Lighting and everything else. It was like, oh, it was all filmed on my iPhone. Like, well, yeah, let's talk about all the other things that you did in this short film, that like all the things you had at your disposal that the common filmmaker does not have. So it looked pretty. Lots of slow motion, go figure. But it was pretty. But shit. Sorry, 1 second here.
Yeah, it looks like Barbie just passed $500 million at the box office. Gee, who's going to make more money, Barbie or Oppenheimer? Where are those people at? They're like, I think Oppenheimer will make more in the long run.
The more I think, are more interested in sitting through an hour and a half to 2 hour movie that's supposed to be like fun and upbeat kind of deal, as opposed to sitting through a 3 hour biopic. Nothing against Oppenheimer, but I honestly had a hard enough time sitting through Bohemian Rhapsody, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was a great movie." I'm like,
it wasn't bad.
Was it?
I wouldn't say great.
Like, did we have to watch the entire Live Aid performance? It couldn't just stopped as he walked on stage to do Live Aid. Like, that would have been great right there. If it's just like he walks out there and just stops, or it cuts to the next scene of like his funeral or something. Who knows? Like, what, something. But we had to watch a whole damn performance. remade, step for step. Never again. Never again. But yeah, I'd rather watch something that's a little bit more upbeat, more fun. Because that's just like, that's really just at the end of the day, I think that's more worth my time. Like, I have to really be in the mood to sit down and watch like a 3-hour movie that's so serious and such about such a morose person. Like Oppenheimer wasn't exactly the face of fun. So, yeah.
I mean, was it a laugh a minute? No, but
I'm sure it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a fantastic film, but it's like 3 hours. I'll wait for HBO Max to drop it, and then I can watch it at home.
I don't think I've ever seen a better made movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
I mean, that was my thought process as I was leaving the theater. I was like, cinematography A+, sound A+, performances A+. Everything is just off the scales amazing. Now the question is it an enjoyable 3 hours?
Yeah. Did it show like nuclear testing?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it show like an elderly looking archaeologist like climbing out of like a lead fridge? Was that in there? Because if not, it's not historically accurate.
See, I don't want to get into spoilers, so
we know Indiana Jones is not in this movie. I'm just joking.
Well, I will say this. In Indiana Jones, and what we do know, just from history, mind you, nothing to do with the movies, they tested a lot of nukes on U.S. soil.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that we know that Indiana Jones wasn't nuked during the Trinity test.
No.
So it would be, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But I will say this, though. Some countries have taken umbrage with Florence Pugh being all naked in the movie.
And, that's their loss. Like, Florence Pugh is beautiful. I mean, just gorgeous. And I hear she was naked in quite a bit, or like maybe just for one scene or something like that. But like I've read something about how they like put a dress on her, like digitally. All right. Okay, do what you want. Let's see real quick. Google this.
Googling going on. We should have a sound effect for that. Google. We do that a lot. Something to just take up ear space. Hi, kids.
Bear with me. Let's see.
Well, I finished.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they put a digital black dress on her, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and there's the actual image. Hello, Florence. Did not expect this. Okay. Turns out that came up on the Google search when I put up a censored Florence Pugh nude scene Oppenheimer. There's like the non-censored version. Like, oh, hello. Okay, cool. Well, now I don't have to go see the movie.
Spoiler, scenes.
Over here, Googling nudity. Oh, God. Well, one thing that was announced not too long ago was a follow-up to 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, that's not coming.
No, it is.
No,
it is officially in pre-production. So it is coming. Yeah. Danny Boyle, he had let me see. He actually said something about it.
Who's going to write it?
About the same guy that wrote the last two. Those are both Danny Boyle movies.
Cross lines, start writing.
Let's see.
Because the writers are on strike.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, like, yeah, it's not like happening right now. I'm just saying, it's like, but now Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are working on a zombie sequel 28 years later, which is exactly what I've been joking about, how it needs to, like, you know, how it needs to be. Because at this point, it gets taken. Let's see, 28 days later came out in, I think, 2003. 28 weeks, 28 weeks later came out. What was that? 2000. What was that?
I saw
think
the
it was like
first one.
2007 or something like that. 28 weeks. Yep, 2007. 28 weeks later, it came out 2007. So now here we are, what, 14, 15, almost 16 years later. And we're like, okay, you might as well just make it 28 years later now. You know, really kind of just, yeah. And I'm a fan of this movie. It's like, I love 28 Days Later. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite zombie films. 28 Weeks Later, I don't think was as good, but I still really love some of the cinematography in that movie. You've seen them, right?
I saw the first one.
Oh, you never saw the second one?
No.
Oh my God, dude. There's a scene in the beginning of the movie where the father figure in this movie, he's attacked. He and his wife are attacked by this horde of the infected. And he's the lone survivor. He gets out of this house, like, with him and his wife and other people that were held up in there. They were all attacked. So he gets out of the house. He escapes. And he's running. There's this beautiful shot of him running. He's being followed by the equivalent to a drone for filmmaking today. It was like a remote control helicopter with a camera attached to it. And as he's running, you see like this aerial shot, like, you know, like maybe like 15 feet up off the ground of him running and being chased. And then it shows a side view shot of him running. And you see like this rack focusing from like a profile shot to the zombies coming down the hills behind him, like to his side, like in the distance. It's just beautifully done. So didn't take much for them to do these two shots, but it was just beautiful. So like Danny Boyle's amazing. I love his work. So when the strike is eventually resolved, however long it takes, I am looking forward to seeing if he comes up with a 28 years later. So yeah. But on that note, I do have to get going. I have to go in a little early tonight. But yeah, I will be seeing Oppenheimer before this next show, and I will be seeing Barbie before this next show, so that way we can actually, you know, talk about both of them.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to get the kids in to see Barbie tomorrow night at the drive-in.
I'll go without them.
Well, if I was going to do that, I could just go to AMC with my pass.
Yeah. Still go without them. Go without. But either way, so yeah, that way this next week we can actually break down the Barbie movie. You know, we can be a bunch of Barbie boys next week. Wear pink. Well, no, it doesn't matter if you do or not because you don't.
Yeah, it does.
Your camera.
I can always wear pink and take a picture and change my
your profile.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, that is going to have to be it for me because I do still work a night job. As much as I may loathe a night shift schedule, I do have responsibilities. So follow me, bjacksman1982 on Instagram. It is the same as this little, you know, badge right down here. And you know, Brandon Junk on Facebook. I may or may not accept. I have a lot of people on my, like, you know, request feed. But yeah, follow the WADcast on both Facebook and Instagram and on Threads. All of them are just type in the WADcast and you'll see our, you know, our black picture with a white banner on it that says WADcast in it. I think on Threads I have a picture of Josh and myself, so it's going to be hard to miss us. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That said, everyone have a great night. Josh, I will give you a call shortly here, buddy, on my way to my job. But everyone have a safe and happy weekend. Don't get in too much trouble. Don't be stupid. And Josh is going to do the whole Danny Tanner, upbeat pep talk. And yeah, all the best ever, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's just us. You know what that means. That means I get to hit the music. That's right. I get to remind you that you should all be going to WADcomedia.com, the home of Wadco Media on the internet. Yeah, let's face it, it's just a place to store links for now. And that way, you'll be able to find all of the social media pages that you need to hit like on and catch all of the updates on everything that's going on with Wadco Media, and that's including the WADcast. So WADcomedia.com, that's where all the links are. Click a link. There are also ways to support what we do there if you feel so inclined. Go to the merch place. I think it's got some pretty cool designs when it comes to stuff. I shop there. You should too. So that's going to do it for us here on the WADcast. You can catch us every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Hey, we made it. Anyway, this is the part of the show where I tell you about being able to follow your dreams. I already did that, though, let's face it. When we talked about Neil Breen, and I said, if that guy can do it, any of you can do it. It's not a knock against Neil Breen, because God knows I would love to have him on the show to talk about what inspired him to move into this creative field. What was the dream that made him feel like creating? I'd love to talk to him. You know why? Because he did the thing that you should do if you want to do the thing. He did the thing. So, again, I already talked about following your dreams and just doing the thing. So, as long as the writers and actors are out there every day in this horrid heat, I'm going to remind you that the only thing standing between what they need and working is the studios, the producers, the people that hold the purse strings. Pay the people what they're worth. Get them back to work. Because a world without art, without creativity, is hardly a world one would want to live in. And yes, we still have things being released. It's not like we've gone into a desert of nothing being created. But the fact is, people need to get back to work, doing the thing that they're trained to do. Writers, actors, they have families. What I'm saying is we stand in solidarity with those on strike. And this message, while it might sound different on a weekly basis, is not going to change until the strikes end. So get out there and go to WADcomedia.com, find the Facebook page for WADcast. That's where we've listed all of the resources that we're putting out there to help support those on strike. Show your support. Join a picket line. If you're in a position to do so, donate possibly to these funds that will help these workers get by until the strike comes to an end. Do that. Do that. And I know I'm I'm trying my hardest to do what I can do to help. Well, that's it for the show this week. Thank you all for listening. Glad you could stop by. And in case I don't see you until next Friday, have a good one. Be safe. Be careful. Drink water. Drink lots of water. Yeah, that's my tag. Drink water.